One, and I'm recording. I'm with Amit today. How are you, my friend?
Doing great, bro. Good to see you again.
Yes, likewise. And I usually start this thing with where did we meet? That's usually my first question. Some people it's like,
Easy
whatever.
answer.
Wh-
Our where did we meet story is my how did you get into crypto story.
Which is my second question.
So I was working for American Express at the time, doing digital marketing work with their global card unit, and I wanted to get high. So I was like, okay, what do you do? So a buddy told me, hey, go to a Bitcoin meetup. So I went to Bitcoin meetup. I went to meetup.com. I typed Bangalore Bitcoin meetup. I saw the organizer was Sunny Ray. I messaged him. I'm like,
Oh,
yo,
no.
this. And he's, yo, it's good. Like,
Terrible.
I was happy to connect. And he's like, yo, I'm holding it at the Hard Rock. So I went to the Hard Rock and we just had, it was like a 2-hour conversation. Satwik from UnoCoin was there. You were there. That doctor from Ahmedabad was there who was talking about like how he wanted to turn green tea, I think, into a token. This was in 2013, bro. This is 2013. And this doctor's like, yeah, I think there's a type of green tea I want to make into a token. And then Satwik was fresh off of the experience of selling sheep on Second Life. He was like a sheep seller on Second Life. And we were discussing the numbers on butterfly mining. So we wanted to put in, I think, 80 Bitcoins, 80 Bitcoins into a Butterfly Labs mining machine that had to clear customs in India for God knows how many weeks that thing sat there. But that was it. And then UnoCoin took off and you did all your thing. You blew up in the space and we all kept in touch over the years.
Yeah. So I guess the
There's
answer to
a
that.
lot more than
Wait,
that, but that was the
when? I
first
guess
time.
rather, when did we meet? So 2013? No, no, no. What am I saying? 20? Yeah, 20.
So I was just looking at some emails writing my book. So we met before October 2013. I think our first email communication was sometime in September of 2013.
Okay, so that was, yeah, interesting. Yeah, that was around the time I guess I met Satwik as well, because okay, cool. So we met at a Bitcoin meetup in India. That's the short answer, around December 2013. No, October 2013. I think it was sooner, because I think by October we'd already figured out what we wanted to do with UnoCoin. And I feel like I met you as soon as I met Satwik, which was at the Hard Rock Cafe, where
Oh,
there may
a
or
lot
may not have
sooner.
been some green tea conversations. We'll leave it at that for now. But I remember those early day conversations where it was just like a handful of people and nobody even knew what this thing was. And we were just, I don't know, trying to meet others that wanted to chat or whatever. And you were like definitely one of the people that stood out because we hung out a lot.
Do you
So
remember? Do you remember Leela Palace meetups? And
oh, of course.
we used to give people Bitcoin on paper, and we'd be
Of
like, "Hold
course.
on, this." I still get emails from them. Sir, I lost my private key. Where's my private? Can you help me get the private key? I feel so bad. I was like, dude, you wrote it down on paper. I don't have it.
But I remember that we used to give away a lot of Bitcoin at those meetups. Like just anybody would come, it would be meetup Bitcoin for you,
100
Bitcoin
rupees
for
there, 100 rupees there. Honestly,
yeah. And now like those 100 rupees could have bought you a mansion or something. It's why I know.
at least the lack, right? I would
Yeah,
think.
yeah. Maybe not. Maybe a mansion France. So we met way back in the day. This was even prior to like UnoCoin really launching. It was more just I would say the tinkering phase where we were, like you said, we were trying mining. We had tried the event. Obviously, we had tried kind of lots of just
First
things.
Bitcoin conference in India, global
Yeah,
Bitcoin conference.
global Bitcoin conference. You remember this shit? There you go. Proof
I
that
still have the domain. It's for sale if anybody wants it.
you still have the domain. I was actually wondering where that was. I was like, oh,
globalbitcoinconference.com.
yo, forget selling that shit. Let's do the next one.
I know I'm not gonna sell it. I just want that. That's good material for the podcast.
Oh, you don't actually own it.
No, I do own it. I'm just not selling it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, okay, perfect, dude. I'm down.
Yeah,
Let's do
you
it.
want to
Let's do
do
a
something with
virtual.
it? Let's do it.
Vir-
I'll give you the keys to it right now.
but of course, let's go. Let's go. We got. I didn't even know you had. I thought Satwik had. Anyways, whatever. Okay, so that would be amazing to get something going on that front. Ooh, a 10-year anniversary. Yeah, we could plan something for 2023. No, 2022. I don't know. We'll plan something for sure.
He did have it. He did have it, something. I mean, Sonny, you're right. But I lent it to him, and then he gave it back to me.
Interesting. Interesting. Cool. That's amazing, dude. So you were part of that global Bitcoin conference thing, which you remember, which I reference probably more often than people like hearing about, just because I talk about it a lot. In fact, I interviewed Surreal Desai. Yeah, I interviewed him. So we did a couple episodes. The second one, the last one we just went live with as well, where we did a breakdown of the India story timeline. We literally went from the beginning, talking about all the key, milestones. But you know what? Okay, I'm just like blabbing on here. But okay, my first big thing is I think this might be episode 100. So people are gonna expect a lot from you. So make it count.
No,
Expect
we're
nothing. No, I'm
I don't
kidding.
know I don't know who's regulating us. This is not financial advice. Do your own research, but there'll be some good coin stopped here. That I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. It all
Mhm.
dies. It all goes to shit if the mother coin dies. That's the first lesson you need to know. Like 70% of your portfolio should be Bitcoin. In my opinion, in Bitcoin, you could probably make more money if you were an alts, but you'd have to be a good trader. You'd have to stay on top of the market. If you want to set it and forget it, you buy Bitcoin, you don't worry about it, you sleep at night, it's going to be $1 million. So that's where I'm coming from. But everybody knows about Bitcoin. So with Sunny, if there's the 100 show, like, well, I'll drop some other coins that I really like now and some other stuff that's happening in the industry that they have 100x, 200x, 400x potential.
Of course. And
You
I'll be
know,
happy to edit those pieces out. So let's get back. No, I'm kidding. Let's go back to your story. I'm calling this. By
I
the way,
will
you
only
didn't even
talk
know I was
about
doing this
coins I'm
show.
invested in, by the
Say
way.
again. Say again.
Full disclaimer, I will only talk about coins that I'm invested in.
Okay. Great. We're gonna, but let's save the coin talk for the end, so to keep the people around.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. So to tell me about your story, and like I said, I'm Max Kaiser, Michael Sunshine, Satwik, you name it, dude.
Yeah.
India,
Aaron
Canada,
Keating,
Argentina.
Aaron
I've
Keating,
covered
Josh
people.
from Butterfly. Yeah.
I haven't interviewed Butterfly Labs, dude. But no, I'm saying is everyone else I've tried to interview, and I'm just getting warmed up. This is just for fun. But what's my main goal? One of my main goals, and some people find this boring, like super boring, right? Which I've gotten feedback from, but I'm really just doing it for myself at this point, which is I'm going around and asking everybody, what's your story? But maybe through the lens of Bitcoin, right? If you're saying something like 70% of your portfolio should be Bitcoin, then obviously Bitcoin had some positive impact in your life. I treat it as a bit of a singularity event, speaking of Peter Diamandis and all these guys. So what is your story, I guess, prior to learning about Bitcoin? And some people start with World War II and their grandparents from this country or whatever. Other people start with their first job. You pick it up from wherever you want. But where does your story end? There is no rush. There's no no one that I'm trying to please per se, but just trying to get people what their story is,
Okay. So I was trained as a banker. So graduated from Tulane University in New Orleans, finance. And I was working as an analyst in a corporation called EarthLink in Atlanta. Then I moved to American Express and I joined their strategic corporate planning unit. And then I switched to sales and I became a private banker for American Express. And they sold the bank to Standard Chartered. But I did that for the last, let's say, 7 years of my career, my early 20s to late 20s. And it was 2008, right at the end of my career. So my job was primarily to sell my clients, well, first to bring in money into the bank. So as a private banker, you want to lure as many deposits as possible. So you want your client to park $1 million minimum or 1.5 million in cash, USD or euro, in a bank account, and you're going to pay them shit. So you're going to pay them like 2% or 3%. At the time, it was like 5 or 6%, I think they were getting in 2008. So they're going to get 5 or 6%. And then the bank is going to take that money and talk to their buddies in London, and they're going to put together a structured note on the LIBOR rate, right? So they're going to say, here's a little bet we're going to put together. If LIBOR stays between 5% and 5.25%, so 25 basis points, within the time you sign this contract to when the contract ends, okay? And they keep it open. So they make it look like these are custom contracts. Then, you're going to make an extra 50 basis points on your deposit. So it's not even whatever. But if it doesn't go through, you're not going to lose any principal. So you're not going to put any principal at risk, but you're not going to earn any interest either. So you float these to the guys. They're like, oh, okay, I can make an extra 3%, 4%, maybe is how it's written. Maybe the carrot is a little bit higher, like an extra 4% or something like that for locking the for staking, basically, for staking your dollars. You're basically staking your dollars with these assholes for a little bit, but you're going to get the payout, right? Now, what would happen, or what I learned, obviously, now it's what, 2021. What happened? These guys in London were rigging the LIBOR rate, right? So the guys at the very top were actually saying the rate is going to be this on this day, and this on this day, on this day. And then you very quickly realize they just disseminated that information to all the other banks. The banks put all their clients in these LIBOR structured products and just pocketed. You can't prove it in court, no, whatever. No one's gonna, there was no case against this, but it's a fact that the London interbank offer rate was being rigged. It's a fact that gambling products, we don't call them gambling, they're called structured products, were being sold by guys in their early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s to high net worth individuals. And that was probably a huge racket that was going on for decades before they got caught. So you'd have to think there's, if you believe in that racket, there's other rackets, whatever. But the final point was Madoff. So I had only foreign clients, high net worth individuals, all in the Caribbean and Latin America. So here's another big issue if you care about morals and ethics. But America is very strict with our citizens that we have to pay taxes anywhere you earn income. But they have no problem helping foreigners skirt taxes of their own country, right? So they make you do KYC, they make you ask questions about source of wealth, but no one really reads those in compliance. They just want the money in the bank. And realistically, you have a bunch of clients who are living in like Guyana and Suriname and Brazil and Argentina, Chile, who are not wanting to pay their full tax in all cases. So what do they do with the extra funds? They park it in America, which is fair for them. It's the best return. Look at the rupee. The rupee was $42. Now the rupee's $80. If I can get your money out of there. But some of these countries are like, no, you can't get your money out. That money got to stay here. So it's a big problem for everybody. So I understand where the clients are coming from, but I didn't understand where the banks are coming from because the banks didn't have to rip off the clients. But if they could, and it was not transparent, maybe that's what you do if you want to be a good businessman. So you don't want to judge people here, but you do want to judge people. But it's a bullshit system.
No,
So what
I think
happened?
LIBOR is a big, I don't think many people know about it, but it is like a massive thing, obviously. And I remember reading about when it was like revealed that it was whatever.
Swept under the rug, just like Jeffrey Epstein, bro. It was swept under the rug, like no hoopla about it, no one cared. It's what they choose to report on. And that was another thing about the Bitcoin story was like, so it's like Bitcoin, it helped me navigate through the 4 years of Trump, right? The Trump era of alt facts, fake news, what's real, who has the right to report on what. I feel very hardened after 2013 to 2017 experience because all we used to get was FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt from the mainstream media about Bitcoin as it was going from $70 to 100 to 300 to 1,000, back down to 50, back up to 1,000, 3,000, down to 200. Like it was just like, boom. But so you have to tune that shit out. And you have to look at the hash rate, and you see that hash rate growing every single fucking year, every minute. Like, yeah, it may go down every 12, 1. I don't know, maybe on my hands, and someone I would love to see in the comments correct me, 15, 18 times difficulty went down in 10 years, maybe 20 times difficulty went down in 10 years. So every day the network is getting stronger. Every day.
Are you able to turn your phone to the side? Would that work? Because I'm in landscape mode right now. Turn it, yeah. Or no, yeah, yes. Oh, I wish I had thought of that earlier. Okay, yeah, lovely.
So like,
okay, continue.
So you block it out, hash rate go up, more people spending real US dollars. They were spending US dollars, euros, or won, or they were making them themselves and plugging hardware into the network. And now it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. BitFury wants to go public, Bitmain wants to go public, right? Hardware. I worked for one of those hardware companies in 2014. At the time, my buddy Greg and I worked at the largest Bitcoin mining operation in all of Bitcoin. And they were doing them back then in 2014 under the mountains in a cave in Utah, I believe, Cointerra. So there was euphoria then when we were costing $600. Everyone overextended themselves. A lot of businesses went bust, but Bitcoin kept still ticking. There was
What's the thinking of being under a mountain? Just security or temperature?
It's cooler temperature. Possibly back then they weren't so concerned about security, but now I'm sure it would be a great, security feature.
Right? Yeah, what's going to be better than a mountain?
You don't want anyone to know where your Bitcoin mine is now. I don't even know how these guys in China are protecting their miners, to tell you the truth. You would think, are they keeping the key in a different country? I could secure maybe 10 terahashes comfortably myself, but like these guys, how the fuck they secure that much Bitcoin? It's impressive, very impressive. Your hats off.
One of my new favorite kind of phenomenons in mining is this new thing about using flared gas to mine Bitcoin. Have you heard about this? It's so cool. No? So you know how like they take oil out of the ground, right? All over the place. There's a lot of places that aren't near, or you don't have the ability to run pipes and things like that very easily. When you take oil out of the ground, you get all these other gases that come out of the ground that's not so good for the environment. So if it goes to the air, you pay this fee or this penalty. But what these guys do is they go, hey, what if you just ran little generators or whatever at the location and then powered Bitcoin mines? You took this thing that's, I guess, a pollution or whatever, but made Bitcoin with it. And it's like super profitable. And I don't know, it just makes a lot of sense. And I don't know, it's like Bitcoin. Oh, it just makes a lot of sense. So for you though, your lens was
that flared mining thing actually does make a lot of sense.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
They have to really be talking to a lot of minefields to make it profitable, or does one flare work for them ROI wise?
And here's the beauty: they use old S9s. They don't even need the latest, because you're literally taking something that they're putting into the air, or that's like there's nothing to do with it, meaning what do you do? So they're just taking like the source of energy, the cost of their energy is not just zero, it's, you know what I mean, it's in the opposite direction, because they're actually, it's a cost because of the fact that it's a pollution or whatever. So now they're able to like
they should be getting paid for taking that flare exhaust out of the environment.
They do, in the form of Bitcoin. That's what these guys do. These entrepreneurs called Upstream Data, they figured out how to get paid in Bitcoin in the best form of money there is by, again, they go there and they set up a generator. They put in this nice metal building type of thing. They set up Bitcoin miners. And then they buy, like I said, they buy old S9s because they don't need to be at the edge. Because for them, they're getting free energy, essentially. It's brilliant. So Bitcoin really just, there's just so many lenses into it. But you're talking about something I think is probably even more at the heart of LIBOR. You talk about fractional reserve banking. You talk about structured products. See, to me, again, I'm not like a huge financial guy or something, but I did get all my licenses to sell mutual funds, insurance, and all that long time ago. And that gave me enough insight to feel that what you're saying is true, is that there's a lot of fancy words and terms that the financial world, for one word or for one, I guess maybe now you could say DeFi, and all these guys are doing the same thing.
They are 100%, and the emissions fees and the deposit
this
fees
and that. It's just so complicated,
though. But it's transparent. You know exactly.
It's transparent.
Like,
there you
go. You know the liquidity pool. You know where the money is being backed up. I can take that risk.
I'm kidding. But yeah, okay. So I guess what was it though about Bitcoin specifically that really caught your attention though? Because was it really just the weed?
It wasn't the money. It wasn't the weed. It's probably more like, I'm a database guy, right? So I have a patent for a method to optimize investments in a database. So debits to the left, credits to the type, like big Excel guy. And Bitcoin, it just makes total sense. Like I understand very quickly, well, not very quickly, it took time to understand it and feel more comfortable with it. But it gave me a good grasp of, oh, this is great technology. Forget about the price of Bitcoin. There's going to be, well, always the price. Yes, it's going to $1 million, but it's also going to breed a whole new way of doing business. It already is. It's breeding a whole new set of opportunities for people. It already is, just because it's like a protocol that the entire world can use, that we can trust, that can't be changed on the dime. And this protocol, you can build on top of it without having to worry if someone's going to pull the rug from you. So nobody can change that API. Twitter can't F with you. Facebook can't hold back the data from you. So if you are counting on information, you can get it no matter what, as long as that network is still ticking. And that we haven't even begun to see yet. Like, Sonny, nobody is taking their end of day batch accounting process that I know of, and write in the comments if it's possible, but nobody is taking like their end of day inventory or whatever and writing that number in a hashing it, putting it in a nice clean block so their vendor or their other person can reference or their customer can reference, and they can set it and forget. And that is not happening yet. Tesla taking big share of Bitcoin, it is months probably, if not a year, before Tesla starts settling invoices with other companies who have Bitcoin. Like, why would you use Swift? Why are you going to use PayPal? Why are you going to use Venmo? Why are you going to use Cash? If Tesla has $1 billion Bitcoin, and they do advertising on
Oh, any of
Facebook.
their suppliers are probably now going, hey, I can take Bitcoin.
I can just
Oh,
do this in Excel. I don't need to worry about anything.
Bitcoin, baby.
Put it in
But
Google
but
Drive.
dude, do you remember though? What was it at? Sorry, what was the name of the restaurant we met at? Hard Rock. So you remember we were sitting there at Hard Rock. It feels like it was yesterday, but it's been almost like what, 8 years. But our level of enthusiasm has not deterred, has not waned
So
even
Chris went every
one
day.
bit. Isn't
Chris
that
went every
insane
day.
though? Isn't that
Chris went.
insane? What else? I'm still with Carl. Besides, but there's not too many things that can keep you this excited for that long. So it sounds like so do you know about this like triple entry, double entry thing? Does that mean
No,
something to you? No, not
no,
really.
no,
Okay.
no. Tell me
Okay. I
more.
thought you were going there with that earlier, but okay, let's keep moving on. So what's your story? Where does it take you next, dude?
That's it. So that's it. I haven't stopped doing anything besides
So what are you
crypto
doing now? I
since
know for a while you
2013.
had some stuff going on and you built a data analytics platform and you had so what have you been up to in the Bitcoin space?
What I do is since 2013, I've been collecting Reddit data and Telegram data. So basically, I
A
have
data hoarder, like
data
that
hoarder,
show.
terabytes of data stored in BigQuery, very organized. User IDs, handles, what they
Mm.
said, how many times was this phrase said, what emojis are used most, et cetera, et cetera. How many people are online at a specific time for a specific community on Reddit. Perfect example. Let's talk about Ravencoin in 2019 or 2018, Ravencoin. I started noticing more people, average of the community, let's say there's 40,000 community members on Reddit for Ravencoin, subscribe to that subreddit. At any given time, it'll tell you on Reddit how many of those users are online. So I noticed with Ravencoin that there was a spike in the per hour percentage of people online for 10 days. It was a slow, gradual spike that was trending very different than all the other coins. Ravencoin blew up by 600%, right? Because that's not rocket science. People were talking about there was a new synthetic that they launched, or they signed a deal with somebody, and what started out as a rumor, then it got picked up, and more people were talking about that said keyword, and then you start seeing notices of it in Instagram later. So that's not right. Same thing is happening now too. You can get into a million crypto pump and dump groups in Telegram and get into real token groups like official ones and get good information. So definitely, if people are new, you got to start there. You got to start at Reddit. You got to start at Telegram. You got to, Twitter I like too, but Reddit and Telegram I feel is where the best signal comes for crypto.
How
So
do
that's okay. So we collected that data. I sell
yeah,
that data.
continue.
I sell that data. I had a blog called ihavebitcoins.com. That became ihb.io. Then I bought an app from Brock Pierce called Blockstreet. So, and now I own blockstreet.info. I was a coin market cap, just like coin market cap I was doing, right? The site's offline now, but we were providing the exact same stuff as coin market cap. I'm not, where's my painkiller in that, right? That's a vitamin. So I'm sitting here, I'm still collecting the data, coming up with new charts, and plan is to launch some Blockstreet, something like a FinViz,
Wait,
something
I have a
different.
question for you. So
But
when
Masari is
did you
so good right now. Like it's like tough to improve on them too. So I use this data myself. I use this data myself right now. I still have these assets, and I consult with a lot of companies, Sonny. So since 2016, I did my first consulting with Bitcoin IRA, and
interesting, okay.
we're in California in Sherman Oaks, and this is an outfit, guy named Chris Klein, super smart guy. He had the idea of, he was selling gold and precious metals into people's self-directed IRAs and 401ks in America. So he had the idea of doing Bitcoin. So they hired me. They knew nothing about Bitcoin. And the first press release, I think June 16th, 2016, to $2.5 million off inbound sales. And one lesson I learned from there is Bitcoin's difficult, right? And the best way to sell it is analog. So we had literally like 12 sales guys at the time. We grew to 50 sales guys, but 12 sales guys at the time, round robin, phone would ring from a 1-800 number from that press release, and 2 million with sales were closed. Then Paul Vinya wrote an article about it in the Wall Street Journal. That weekend, 25 million sales were closed. I think when I left consulting with them in 2017, over 300 million was put into 401k and IRA. They teamed up with BitGo, so very secure wallet. I believe BitGo is now the custodian. At the time, it was the custodian Kingdom Trust, but it was new. Now you have a million guys doing this. I do it for people in Miami, Florida, just personally. Not personally, but I do it myself, generate my own leads and do it because it's good money. You charge people 10% to put them in a vehicle like this. Bitcoin costs 60,000. Okay, you want to put 500K, your price per Bitcoin is 66,000. And they're not going to bargain with you because who else is going to help them put it in a self-directed IRA and grow 66,000 worth of Bitcoin up to $1 million protected by tax gains?
Fascinating. This was a very, let's see, interesting topic for me. I've gone deep down this rabbit hole. I think Bitcoin IRAs are fascinating. Okay, so you've been consulting in this space and you've been, hey, on the coin market cap.
Investor and ICOs too. So like I invested in Mastercoin, the first ICO ever. Huge.
Really?
15x on that. Did with Dave Johnson. I did that. That's how I met Michael Turpin. And then I got close with Turpin, then I met Brock, and then I did EOS. I invested in EOS early. And I became a market consultant. So sometimes I do advertising for coins or consult with companies direct.
Interesting. Dude, Mastercoin. Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but actually, in fact, I've interviewed, by the way, Ryan from Masari on this show. I've interviewed David Johnston as well.
Masari is great. Anyone who asks where can I get good research, that's why I like Blockstreet.live, because I'm using Masari. It's such a good website for information. Ryan's email is a must read.
Huh.
Remember, he caught the Mount Cox. He was the journalist.
Of course. No, I have a lot of respect for Ryan. I love his work. Hey, did Blockstreet come out before or after CoinMarketCap?
Blockstreet came out after CoinMarketCap.
You guys came out
Blockstreet
after.
first launched in the Apple iTunes store. It's still up there. The Apple iTunes store in 2014.
Got it. Cool. So, one of my main themes on this show is building on Bitcoin, right? It's actually, you can go to buildingonbitcoin.com and you can find this show. But the whole kind of premise is that, yeah, the all-time high number go up and all that stuff is wonderful. And that's like big part of the revolution. But the other part of the revolution is you can actually build a career on Bitcoin. You can be a consultant, you can write a book, you can build companies, there's like a whole myriad of things. By the way, are you with me? Are you like in some meditate? Did you fall asleep?
Yeah, I was just looking like December 15th, but it was December 14th. You would ping me and said, you're back in India, let's meet up for coffee. So it was way before. So I
want to say 12. I want to say we met in 12 or something, maybe. Man.
What email address were you using back then? The same one? Because
Ray.sunny@g. I'm kidding. Nothing. It's hard to find. My last name, my first name. But anyways, yeah.
You don't need the dot though.
I don't need the dot?
I think that's true. I think that if you have a dot, you don't need the dot with using Gmail.
I think that's the key. Really? Yeah, no, I think that's true actually. Okay, anyways, whatever. Okay, I digress. We digress. What is the story? So you've been consulting. So I guess any tips on that front? Like how does one position themselves? Because I'm doing not a lot, but a bit of consulting on the side. I get pinged quite often by people saying, hey, can you help us out? But I don't know, any thoughts on how, if someone out there and they're like, hey, I've been in this space for a while, I've done a lot of things and blah, blah, blah. I think I can maybe, position myself for right now. Everybody and their dog is trying to get into Bitcoin. Yeah.
If you've been in the space for a while, you probably know some people in the space too. You probably have a bunch of LinkedIn connections. This is how I started it, and it worked like off the bat. I would type in blockchain, type in Bitcoin, all the buzzwords in your LinkedIn, and email each of them separately, and you'll pick up work if they need it. But in that email, what can you offer? Look, I'm really good at building a community. I'm really good at Telegram management. I can rewrite your white paper. Or if you're a coder, be like the best way is through code, right? So just get on that person's GitHub if it's open source and message the developer directly and tell them about something. But don't waste anyone's time. Be quick with it. So like my first email is, look, I can get you press. I can get you press in Forbes, CoinDesk, whatever. Here's the place I can get you press. It's going to cost you this much. You pay half up front and you don't have to pay the other half if we don't come through with our guarantees. And that worked really well. We do a lot of these reports. So we sell reports to exchanges on their Alexa rank, on their community growth in Telegram. So we give them basically, if you're the marketing guy at Binance, or if you're the marketing guy at Kraken, here's what you need to know. The people are really cribbing about something here. Or here's what's important for them is fucking internet traffic. So like, yo, Your WazirX in India, your competitor is UnoCoin. The last week, UnoCoin has gone up a lot. You remember some of the Alexa reports I used to show you guys, right? That's important to know because you're not going to see it in crypto. News isn't going to talk about it. You're not going to get any other feelers. All of a sudden, another exchange is going to come up behind your ass and start doing 2 billion, 3 billion of volume.
Hey, by the way, you know that, UnoCoin's,
they listed something and then all of a sudden they got all the volume.
UnoCoin's back, right? Like it's doing really right now. Like we're like a year ago, after the court case. I don't think
UnoCoin.
Oh, I think I lost you. What was that? What'd you say? Hello. Oh, I think I lost you, dude. Okay, now let's go back. Yeah, you were muted or something. I don't know why. Okay, we're back. Okay, dude, what did you say there in the end there? I missed it. You were saying something in the last.
Oh, okay. So basically I was saying I don't think UnoCoin ever went away. I know they had some difficulties. I know
yeah, it's like the cockroach.
Yeah, Zepay is there still. Remember the two guys?
Zepay is they'd left for a bit. They went to I think Australia or something, and then came back.
Pushing in Australia.
Now there's so many other companies. I even interviewed WazirX's CEO Nishchal, who I'm a big fan of. I think he's done such amazing work. There's a lot of them now, man. There's a lot of great companies out of India, and it's nice to be among like a sea of companies. It's not just there's two companies or whatever.
Company that did very early on, they connected to e-bill. India has the e-bill pay system. The company lets you buy internet minutes or Vodafone minutes with Bitcoin. I was very impressed with that in 2020.
We enabled that at UnoCoin. You can top up your cell phone.
Maybe it was you guys. It was if you Satoshi living room from Australia, it was like that.
Dude, UnoCoin is actually like the craziest app ever. There's like at least these, just look at all these. You can't even see it. These are all the different functionalities. This is on the more page. Okay. There's like dollar cost averaging, which I think Cash App just introduced. We've had it for 5 years. We have the BitPay, whatever, kind of the, PayPal thing. We've got, you can earn interest. You can do lending. You can do like a mutual fund, like a thing.
Doing lending now. That's dope.
Bro, Netkey. We've got an exchange. Like we've got a lot of things under the hood. We just don't do a lot of active like advertising, like Google ads and stuff. Like I don't know what our thinking around it is. More just like try and build great things that people like and promote people. So we've shied away from Google ads. I don't know if you remember, hey, by the way, I lost your face. So by the way, something happened.
When sell Coinbase. That's pretty much what I see happening to UnoCoin. Do you see Tiger Global's investment?
Of course, yeah. $500 million valuation.
I think Coinbase will buy UnoCoin. It's the white shoe of exchanges in India.
I don't know why, because they're starting in India.
I have no privy, bro. I have no privy to any information. I'm
yeah.
With the name UnoCoin, it has the brand recognition in India.
UnoCoin, we have been traditionally referred to as the Coinbase of India. Now I guess Coinbase is the Coinbase of India because they have an office there and they're hiring some killer people. Look, ultimately,
they have an office there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, there's been some news. But my guess is that it'll probably be a back office, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't start serving India too, because it's such a big market. It's such an important market. And look, the way I look at it is, man, this market is so big. Like I see every human as a potential customer. So if you want to onboard all those people yourself, or do you want to be doing it with an army of soldiers?
Billion plus.
Yeah.
Is the Satoshi a rupee yet?
I don't know. I forget. I don't know.
I think once we hit one Satoshi as a rupee, it's going to take off in India.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because you just start selling them in sats. Everybody wants to take 10 rupees and turn it into 100 rupees, man. Everybody, 1 billion people want to do that.
Hey, by the way, we should probably resync offline about some of the things about just growth and whatever, just whether it's on the content side, because I am creating a ton of content. Like I said, I have 100 hour-and-a-half long interviews. And so now I'm going to stop a little bit and figure out now how to create blogs, create some thought pieces around these interviews and all that. So would love to jam with you.
Get one of your creative spurts.
I'm on it right now. And this interview, again, this is exactly like the meetups in the sense that if you would have asked me, why are you doing this thing, Sonny? I'd just be like, I don't really know. I just feel like I want to. This is kind of like that. It's like, well, I could be upstairs playing with my kids right now, which I should be doing. I should be barbecuing. I don't know, go for a drive. Maybe I'm doing something different, but I feel a calling. I'll tell you where my calling, some of it comes from. I feel sad about what's happening right now with this pandemic. And I feel like a lot of people are stuck at home, literally stuck. And if nothing else, I just want this to be something that they can rely on and come in and just shoot the shit, learn maybe a little bit about Bitcoin, maybe laugh a bit for an
Pandemic
hour.
has been great for crypto.
Huh?
Great. Pandemic has been great for crypto. A lot of people, they have a lot of time now on the internet, and like crypto is fun, and they're realizing that, right? Spending time in the forest. I feel like this wave was a lot. People say like Robinhood increased their trading. I think crypto benefited more than Robinhood.
Yeah, yeah. Crypto is one of those, oh, Bitcoin, it's one of those things, right? Where good things are good for Bitcoin, bad things are good for Bitcoin. Everything is good for Bitcoin, right?
Everything is good for Bitcoin. So true.
It's kind of sad that way,
You know,
but
the best thing about it is like when you hear CNBC now, like they say, I was just listening to it, they say Bitcoin now like every 10th word, every
it's
15th word,
crazy. It's
right?
crazy.
And
It's
you hear them
crazy.
talking about it, and you're like, wait, you know, you were there 8 years ago. I love it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. As we laugh about this stuff, it's also, I don't know if you've heard, but in India recently, there was some talks about them trying to introduce a bill to potentially ban it. That did not go through, thank
Yeah,
God.
dude, I
But
pray
in
every
lieu of
day.
it,
Like that's not gonna happen. It's not
well,
gonna
I mean,
happen. The politicians won't be able to do it. They've tried, and I always tell people, I say, okay, when they sign that, you call me because it's not good. People are too smart. I would hope, but I don't think they're gonna do it. I do not think they're gonna do it. First of
yeah.
all, how many politicians in India have Bitcoin? What are they gonna do? They want
Yeah,
to spend what they love.
have you heard Balaji and Nandan Nilekani? Sorry, I'm probably pronouncing his last name wrong. About their commentary recently on Bitcoin and crypto and how it can benefit 60 million of the small and medium sized business owners that need capital today. They're saying about $250 million to $500 million in investment, which would unleash the next $1 trillion industry in India.
Love it.
They're
I
saying
love it.
what better group of people than the crypto
I love it.
community that can look at code and white paper and send millions of dollars just based on those two factors to
I love
someone.
it.
Why
I love
not
it.
tap into this?
Smart
Yeah, so
man.
I think a lot of smart people are going, hey, like this crazy thing.
Ambani did Geo, right? Didn't Geo have plans to do some sort of blockchain phone or something? They're not dumb. The big cell phone company wanted to do it. Like, what are they gonna do? Ban it? You know, you can't. Okay, let's get something straight. You can't ban Bitcoin and then say, "Oh, we're gonna let blockchain technology in. We want
Mm-hmm.
blockchain technology. Bitcoin's banned." No, listen,
Yeah.
one thing. It's Bitcoin. There's no blockchain. There's Bitcoin. Yes, there's blockchain. There is blockchain, but there's Bitcoin. If you think you're getting blockchain without Bitcoin, blockchain of anyone's blockchain, your mother's blockchain without Bitcoin, who the fuck is talking to that blockchain?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think we've been like Bitcoin maximalists, if you will, to a large extent. It's always hard to not
I
slip
love
down
other
that slide
coins
a
though.
bit. Yeah, I got nothing but love. You, Vitalik, and
You
these
know,
guys are from Toronto,
Bitcoin raises
right?
all
So
boats.
yeah, so I've interviewed Anthony Diorio. I got love for these guys. And look, and we at Unocoin, we even list Ethereum. So for me to say that we don't benefit from this movement, it'd be a lie. At the same time, there's something special about Bitcoin,
Other
and you
coins.
can't deny it. And I see all these other things as like the same way I look at my, like, everything aside from Bitcoin, I look at it as like my, what's it called, like my Nintendo or my Xbox, right? They're fun, they're cute. I'm not gonna bet my life on it. I'm not gonna spend all my days on it. I'm not gonna, but once in a while dabble
Yeah,
on the side a
you
little bit.
dab a
It's a
little
little bit
bit.
more exciting
Yeah,
than Call of
that
Duty,
dog
you know.
game
It's
looks really good right now, you know?
like so you put it in its box and then you can talk about it. My point is,
Yeah.
I don't like this whole thing. Oh, we can't talk about anything, and it's a scam. What about, like, for example, dexes? Like, to me, the decentralized exchange idea is interesting because I've been a part of the centralized movement now for a long time, and I see the clear kind of, what's the word, obstacles, the things that make it difficult. I can see how these decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, they definitely capture your imagination, and you're like, wow, maybe things can be done in a more robust way. But there are also concerns, right? Like that I have still, like that's why we haven't done anything. We haven't even done a coin. No coin. Our number one request is, when are you gonna list Uno Coin?
Yeah, Unocoin should do like a staking coin like BNB. All exchanges should have their own coin
An
like that, right?
ERC20 token is 5 lines of code.
Yeah.
I've known Vitalik since 2 years before he launched. This was one of his first, like, meaning to do Uno Coin on an ERC20 like BNB is always
I
been
would I
possible.
would get that token because Indian traders, they know. Like they know.
Oh,
And
I'm
they're
sure you
friends.
would. I'm sure you would. My fear is we won't name it, but let's say said token, okay, exchange token in India went up 400%. Oh, you wake up one morning, they're down 40%. Now, here's my fear is that when it's down 40%, no one remembers the up 420. Everyone's happy. When it's down 30 and the guy got in yesterday, I hate you. That guy hates you right now.
He's gonna
He
file
hates
a
you, and
first
you are the face
information
of it.
report. He's
Right.
gonna file an
I
FIR
don't want
against
that kind
you.
of heat. It's plain and simple. I don't want
Yeah,
it's so
you're going to the
simple.
police
Because
station.
I have another variable that I optimize around, which isn't just around money.
Uncle, the coin went down 40%, Uncle.
Could you
What happened
imagine?
here?
It's like I don't even want that chance. I
Why?
don't
I
want
told you,
that
I bought
chance.
the coin, it went down 40%, Uncle.
Yeah,
Don't move.
and look, yeah, and it's look Ethereum use case. I'd say questionable,
20K.
like the whole Turing complete. But you know what? It's played out. It's working. People are doing funny things on it. Anyways,
True, dude, there was a shoe
it's like
that
my
was selling for
Nintendo.
$6,000 on Ethereum the other day. It was like a brand new shoe company, but it was all
Yeah.
digital. Pink shoe for $6,000, and someone bought it.
Yeah, NFTs are wild. It's hard to deny that innovation isn't happening. I'm a big fan of things like RSK. I've just had to be a fan. Well, unfortunately, they haven't seen a lot of uptake, but I think recently I've been feeling the love. I feel like
very good with RSK.
I really like RSK, and I think that those type of projects will come to Bitcoin, and you'll start seeing more of that. But anyways, where shall we go next? We talked about your story. We talked about what you're do and what you're up to and how you help companies in the space, which I think is fascinating. And that's really
Thank you for letting me. Thank you for giving me those questions.
Well, dude, that's really the central part of this. Because
Yeah.
you know why? Like I was like, I want to tell my story about all the bullshit and craziness. And then I thought, wait, it would be weird if I just tried to go out there every day and tell my own story. People would be like, okay, dude, you just said it yesterday. So I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to give everyone else I know a chance to tell their story. Karma. Let's see if karma works. And it is working because people inevitably, oh, Sonny, I got this interview. Thanks for you. But it's funny. I've lost myself in the process and I've just enjoyed connecting with people because I think, in the midst of the pandemic, the people I'm interviewing too.
It's funny how funny you said it. Like, you said, what do you like about Bitcoin? Like, honestly, now that you just said it, connecting with people.
Yeah.
In the last, since 2013, like connecting with people at conferences. And then they're so friendly in crypto. People are so nice in crypto. They'll help you. They will be like, okay, there's no stupid questions in crypto. You meet these guys at conference and you do a follow-up, and you connect with people from all over the world too, just because of the global nature of our business. Yeah. And that's been fun. Like going to conferences, going to different countries, and meeting different people, seeing how different cultures use their Bitcoin, react to Bitcoin. It really is. I think it's a very good, peaceful, fun movement, but it's still fun.
And ultimately, and I know me even doing this show, it's a bit of a risk. It's like, Sonny, why are you going on every day and saying stupid shit? You got better things to do, whether I hear from my wife or everyone.
But it's 100th episode, bro.
Oh! But like I said, I feel this deep obligation, man. I feel it because like I said, right. people always have the choice to not watch, and right, most people don't. For those few that are just like a little bored or trying to get the edge or whatever, it's leave it all out there, leave it all out there and leave nothing back. Okay, so
that's good, son. Brock says the same thing. Like a lot of these influencers, and you're definitely an influencer, right, in this space. I think a lot of them, they're like, it's time we have to give back. Not we have to give back. We want to give back. We want to give back. We want to hang out after we're done speaking at the conference. We want to sit down and talk to people and see, because you never know what this, like a 29-year-old, bro. And it's not just for selfish reasons. You interested, but a 29-year-old just got into crypto. He did FTX. I think they're doing what, 10 billion in trading volume in 24 hours. So like that goes back to our thing about what the industry is so exciting. Like these two guys have a license for a bank in Lithuania. What can you help them do with it? This is why. So someone comes to you at a conference, and like, how many times you go to a conference? And to me, after I speak, someone will come to you and be like, hey, my dad's worth a lot of money, and we have this in this country and this. We want to do this, and you help them guide through these opportunities. It's great.
Yeah, it's the Wild West in some ways. But the rule makers, the rulers are coming. They're coming. And so it's like the two worlds are really colliding now. And then you have Tesla and Jack Dorsey and Elon Musk and all these people like signaling to the world that, look, we think this thing is legit. At the same time, you have, like I said, regulators being like, what is this? So I don't know, man. I think we live in exciting times.
Regulator, like I've only been in crypto since 2013, so I'm not an OG. But I will say this: for regulators, they have to remember Bitcoin did no paperwork. right? It did no paperwork. It didn't ask for any permission. It is the most successful coin. So when you come and try to regulate other coins, you got to look at it from that lens. And right now we're seeing coins that did no paperwork who are hitting 2 billion, 3 billion market cap. We're seeing decentralized exchange. They may have done paperwork. I don't know what their rules are, but a decentralized exchange is doing like 30, 40, 50, 60 billion dollars in volume every day. There's no 1-800 number. You send that money to the wrong contact address, you're screwed.
I was going to tell you, yeah. So I don't optimize just around making money. I also optimize around trying to sleep at night. That's why, like, you know what I'm saying?
70% Bitcoin, 30% altcoins, and you're going to sleep just fine, right?
That's why my numbers not 70-30. It's like 99 and 1. But yeah,
I
sure.
You're a better man than me, bro.
I'm not much of a risk taker. So, dude, what's final kind of, I guess, last American Gladiator style question, but we can keep it short. What is one thing that you believe to be true that most others in Bitcoin would disagree with you on? Okay, and this is your chance to chill or not. What is one thing? So it's like Peter Thiel's kind of famous contrarian question. What is one thing that you believe to be true after having been in the space, 8-10 years, that most others would disagree with you on?
I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I am adamant that we don't add or change any lines of code to the protocol. I don't believe in bigger blocks. I don't know if that argument is still happening. I think that we need to think of Bitcoin as, okay, here's the foundation. Whatever you want, you can reverse engineer. So if you're given a small block, then let everything happen off chain, let it grow that way. I think that the less we fiddle with the initial protocol, the more successful Bitcoin will be. Keep the same amount of opcodes, keep the same lines of code, because it's the standard. That, I don't know if that's uncontroversial or not. When it comes to a controversial opinion, I also believe that Bitcoin will always, I don't know if this is controversial, but it'll always be the number one coin. Everyone talks about the flippening and this and that. I don't think any coin will ever have a greater market cap than Bitcoin. I don't know if that's unpopular, but that's something that I firmly believe in. I also believe that Bitcoin will start handling things like Ethereum. So a lot of people don't think that's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, really. Basically, you may not be doing it immediately on Bitcoin blockchain, but I guarantee that in 4 or 5 years, all of these ERC20s, all that stuff, they're going to be settling on the Bitcoin blockchain, and they'll be able to talk to other blockchains. They'll still be necessary. Ethereum will still be necessary for day-to-day, Starbucks coffee, this and that. But it's all going to be written to the mother coin at the end of the day, which is going to make that more valuable as we go up. Is that what I believe? I don't know if any of those are controversial. What, Craig Wright? He's not Satoshi. I could think about that as being controversial. I think scams are good for Bitcoin. I think they teach people stuff, like all these Ponzi's and things. Yeah, people are like, oh, regulator, we need license. No, I think that Bitcoin is so strong because people are learning as they go and they understand, like, you have to get burned to really protect. You have to get burned. You have to know what's up with crypto. Like, it's not your coins unless you have your private. This is one thing about it, controversial. Like, I don't like Coinbase. I love it for what it's done for the industry. But people who use Coinbase don't know what a private key is. They don't know how to hold Bitcoin on a piece of paper. And that's really annoying because they're missing out on a lot of stuff that happened in 2017. And even now, if they haven't figured it out yet, like Coinbase limits your options to what other coins you can swap into on these decentralized exchanges. You don't get airdrops if you don't control your private key. You can't go to, if you're a Coinbase user for 4 years now and that's all you use, you do not know how to send Ethereum to MetaMask, use MetaMask to fund your gas, add max gas, increase the slippage, pick up a coin on Uniswap, and then delete the browser from your Chrome extension because you never leave that browser as long as you've exported your seed words. You don't want to open yourself to risk. So I think that people need to get smart, more smart. And I don't think as an industry, we're spending enough. Yes, we need these easy tools. But as an industry, we got to almost let people get burnt and let them understand they got to have their private key. They got to know what that is before they start playing around on all this other stuff.
Cool. No, I like that. Okay. Any thoughts on AI? And then I trail like this is really my last question. And I trail it into like UBI, universal basic income. And I'm going to drop it, I think, in my next 100 episodes, but they've just been like 2 areas of interest for me. I think they overlap in the sense that I think if AI progresses, then you might have a deeper need. If even in a pandemic world, we've seen now a lot of people having to give up their livelihoods for better or worse, mostly for worse. If there's a free market-based universal basic income. And oddly not enough, my last interview that I'm going to be releasing before ours is going to be with a Good Dollar, a lady named Anna Stone from Good Dollar, which is that it's like it's a project on the blockchain that's like trying to do universal basic income. But any thoughts on AI, I guess, today and the future, and then UBI, and then we can maybe close it out?
Yeah, I think Ubi is bound to happen for certain segments of the population. Otherwise, they starve. So AI is definitely going to change things immediately and very quicker than we realize. Like self-driving cars is just the tip, and people think we're not going to have that. But I think in 5 years, no, there's not going to be an Uber driver anymore. There's not going to be a truck driver anymore because they think, oh, it's roads, it's infrastructure, but they also forget it's technology. And it's the advances in an AI being able to learn a speed bump and a right turn in a toddler. This can happen in a week, and then it can be safe. It can be deemed safe, and then insurance companies are not going to insure people like us anymore because the computer is going to be better. So why take the risk on a human? Driving is going to be banned. Drivers are going to be gone. Largest union in America. What are people going to do? I'm a crazy person. Honestly, it's going to be fucking euphoria. We're going to stop working. The machines are going to work for us. There's going to be no boss. And it's like limitless. Like people think it's crazy, but you can play out a universe where, Sonny, it's limitless. Okay, you have the machine knows I have to produce this much energy. I know it's going to cost this much. Why can't the machine manage how many other machines to build to fix that problem? How much carbon it needs to take out of the air? We're getting to that point. So humans are going to have to become very spiritual. We're going to have to learn to connect with each other. We're going to have to be like, okay, what do you want to do? What's your passion? You're going to have a family. You're going to do this. You want to be an artist. What is it? I don't know. But if we have AI and if we have machines and we have limitless money and this quantum internet coming, there should be no one who doesn't need anymore, right? Because you can manage resources, right? You can manage water, you can manage food, you can manage growth, you can manage land. One big thing I always struggle with is how much of our freedom do humans, how much of our personal freedom are we going to have to give up? Is it going to happen slow? Is it going to happen gradually? But yeah, I could see a universe play out where humans won't have to work. It's going to be like the golden years. It's going to be great.
Yeah, as long as we can get these machines to, I don't know, not turn on us. Too
Not
much Terminator.
correct.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
They have to be
Guys like Elon Musk say that's our biggest threat. So maybe it's not to be taken lightly.
Dude, someone could slip some devious personality traits in some of this code. Like we don't know.
Do you remember when
20 years from now? 30.
When I met you, I used to work for a robotics company. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I spent almost 10 years.
No, you've always been into robotics.
Yeah. You know, Caro, my wife, is also a mechatronics engineer. So she gets that stuff. So I have a lot of interest in that space.
You know, Benson was building robots in Bangalore for a bit, right?
I'm going to interview Benson soon. I recently chatted with him. So I'm going to interview him. I'm trying to get different looks at it and at the whole kind of India Bitcoin story, really eventually the global Bitcoin story. But my plan is to take a lot of these little pieces of like storytelling and eventually weave it into something a bit more like Netflix ready. Something that, oh, nice view. What a beautiful view. You're in where again?
Miami.
Sick. I heard Florida is awesome.
Dude, the mayor wants to pay people in Bitcoin here.
DeSantis. Sorry.
Yeah, he's good.
I watch all of his videos.
That's the governor, but Miami does. There's also an NFL player who wants to take his salary in Bitcoin now. I mean,
boom, baby, Miami. Woo woo. Florida is making it happen. I love it. I love it. I smell freedom down there, man. Fuck, I've never wanted to go to Florida so badly. Texas too. So, anyways,
there's going to be a conference here. You guys get out of lockdown in Toronto. You need to come down, bro. You stay with me.
Ooh, like it. Might take you up on it. Yeah. Oh man, getting down. Yeah. For the longest time, I'd been traveling for so long, for almost 15, 17 years. I was just like traveling. And I was just, I hate it. I don't want to travel anymore. And then now lockdown's here and I can't travel. So I'm slowly starting to be like, it would be nice to, go to Hawaii, maybe go to here, go there. Oh man, it's like when you can't do something, you want to do it more. Where do people learn about you and your whatever? Where do people contact you? Or Telegram. Like, where do they?
Telegram is the best way to reach out.
Telegram, man, you're up with the times. Okay, so what is the
at internet dollar?
3 ats and then internet dollar. No. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You're definitely a crypto guy. You took that literally. I'm
kidding. No, I got that. Okay, interesting. At internet dollar. People can hit you up on Telegram because that's where it's at.
I'll get you on DM, no problem.
Beautiful. That's where it's at. And dude, thank you very much. Yeah, we should do another episode, I guess. My first one, I try and keep it like I have my specific questions, but we can do another one on like just, I don't know, shooting the shit.
Yeah. Sonny, this week though, let's catch up about business sometime like after Thursday or Friday.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
email you.
Okay, don't hang up just yet. I'm going to bring this one to a close.